Also, brothers, this is a benefit I want to share with you that I took from Ahadul Mashayikh. Okay? Every book that you finish reading and you've learnt it, do the following things to it, and wallahi, you will always recall where that information is in. And that's remembering where that information is in a book. If you do the following to the book, wallahi, you're going to remember it. Number one, rewrite the content page. Ignore the content page that was written by the muhaqqiq or the person who brought out the book. He based those content page on how he saw this section to be. You might see it under a different heading. So rewrite the content page yourself, number one.
So when you say rewrite the entire content page without looking at...
Yeah, ignore him. Ignore what the muhaqqiq wrote, because sometimes you might not even agree with this heading. Say, nah, why? Maybe 1 page or 2 pages might be this content page, but why has he made it 4 pages? Are you there? So you say, maybe could even, between these two headings, I could put another heading in between it. Does that make sense? Me, I like to make a heading for just about every page. Unless the pages are connected and I can't separate it, I like to make it page by page. 1, because it's easy for me to remember it. Number 2, any benefit I come across when I'm reading the kitab and I like it, I write. But by the way, where do you write the content page on? The content page, I write it at the beginning of the book, the kitab. So if this is the book, you open it, the first page, I write the content page. Muhtawayat al-kitab, the fahras al-kitab, I write it on there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, all of it. That's the content page. Once I finish that one, I write the content page, I go back to reading the kitab. The first time I read the kitab, I read it normally without writing anything. The second time I read it to get out all the places I like the benefits. Now I'm like, okay, this is really good. I put it in brackets, highlight it, and I write it on the back of the kitab. I write Fa'ida 1, Fa'ida 2, Fa'ida 3. It goes on. Sometimes I have to get extra paper to write more Fa'ida on it, and I put it on that page. Those are the 2 that majority of times I do. The third one I don't do it majority of times because that needs a lot of time to do it. A lot of time. But is to summarize the book. To rewrite this book, mukhtasar. Get rid of the istidradat and the topics that he goes off topic and keep it under what the book is about. If you can do those 3 for a book, you will know it like the back of your hand. Sah? Does that make sense?
You mentioned something about writing titles. Can you repeat that again? You said that you like to write titles for that which you read.
Yeah, so the titles is the fahras, right? The content page. The content page is the heading. The content page, is the content page not the headings? Okay, what's the difference between content page and titles? Yeah, I ignore the content page that the author wrote. The muhaqqiq wrote. I write my own one.
Yeah, I understood that part.
So what's the difference between headings and content page?
No, I thought you said that when you read something, when you read the content page,
Yeah.
After that you write.
Yeah, sometimes I might look at the content page and realize, okay, his content pages are not off. But I feel like, so if you look at the content pages, it says to you from page 1 to page 4, it's on this topic. And then from page 4, or page 5 to page 11 is on this topic. I might say no. Page 1 to page 3 is on this heading, or on the title you gave. And from page 4 to page 9 is on this particular point. He's talking about مثلا. From page 1 to 9 he's talking about 1 to 4 he's talking about mahabbatullah, loving Allah. But the muhaqqiq who chose that, he might extend that titling to page 9 and 11, and I'm only going to stop at 4, and I'm going to say after 4 he's not talking about mahabba. Why would you still put that under the same heading? Does that make sense? And sometimes I don't think that the headings of the author is more sharper than the way I want it. Why do I want it like in my way? Because I want to say, when you ask me a question, I'm like Ibn Taymiyyah said this in Majmu' al-Fatawa, the 3rd volume. Why? Because I wrote that question of yours under a heading. That's how I remember it, or else I can't memorize it. There's a kitab I'm going to encourage you guys all to read. I literally benefited from it a lot. And I finished reading it not this journey, not the one before it, not the one before that, the one before that. When I came to the UK, I read a kitab called Al-Mirqat. It was so good that I didn't check who the author was. Somebody look it up for us, Al-Mirqat. Look at Google, it's called Al-Mirqat. I forgot the author's name. Google it up for us. Yeah? Ya Sabahi. Al-Mirqat. What name came up? Yeah? Show me. Yeah? Sulaiman ibn Nasir al-Ubudi. That kitab is very good, brothers. Yeah? Sulaiman ibn Nasir al-Ubudi, that kitab is very good. Al-Mirqat, these questions, how to write benefits and extraction and all that, he mentions a lot. He actually wrote the book because people read so much, and how do I recall what I read? You guys have a lot of questions on that, right? This book is going to help you. I like it, it's a very nice book. I rewrote the content page for that one, summarized it, organized it. So it's good, a book.